Ball first and 10 at the 12-yard line of the Seahawks. Sean goes right, has a cutback lane, and he does. He's across the 20, the 25, 30, 35, 40. Here he goes. Are they going to catch him? 40, 35, 30. Touchdown, Seahawks! 12, they're bringing the trophy home. Your Seahawks, Super Bowl 48 champions. Holy catfish! Baldwin's going to throw back to Russell. He's got it! Touchdown! Seahawks! Are you kidding me?
Let's Hawk It Out with your hosts Kevin Porter and Rich Harris.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an all-new episode of Let's Hawk It Out. Kevin Porter here, Rich Harris. What's up, buddy? It's NFL draft time, so that means we got to make a comeback for the pre-draft special here. And again, brand new YouTube page. Yeah. People can follow us here on our brand new site. It's amazing. It's exciting times, Rich Harris. What's up with you, buddy? It's been a couple months.
Right. It's great, man. And I think for good reason, we've decided to move on and up our game a little bit. Maybe go with some video. We did have some followers, you know, and we didn't know what the hell we're worth or nothing like that. We're not trying to be professional or nothing, even though we're both pretty professional as it is. We're just trying to do something with our fellow fans and everything. And it was quite surprising, the response we got, I guess you could say. So let's up it a notch. People said kick it in another gear. Here we are.
Hey, man, don't undersell yourself there, Rich Harris, man. You know, all the people that want to come and listen to your insight when it comes to Seahawks football, dude. You bring a lot here, dude. So,
yeah.
No, like you said, dude, the fans, they've been clamoring for more ever since the last time we saw everybody, obviously, was wild card weekend. Unfortunately, the Seattle Seahawks did fall to the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, the 49ers fell in the NFC Championship game against the eventual Super Bowl run of the Philadelphia Eagles, but it was pretty satisfying seeing the San Francisco 49ers that game. Dude. A lot of people hearts were broken that day. Mine was it grew 10 sizes.
Yeah. And like I said, that's why I wasn't too surprised if we would have went into San Francisco and actually took that game that we should have took, that second one that we went in there to try to keep going, right? And we fell short, right? But I knew San Francisco was going to fail at sooner or later because they really weren't all geared up is what most people thought. I think it was a lot of hype. Did I have that right though, where we went in there and then lost to them again when we were trying to move on, right? That was our first wild card game, wasn't it?
It was our first wild card game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We beat them. I think we beat them. No, we lost to them almost 3 times. I'm sorry. I'm a little off. That
we did lose.
That could have been. Yeah. They said nobody would ever beat a team three times in 1 year.
3 times in a season. Yeah. And San Francisco did. They had our number this year, dude. I mean, as much as I hate San Francisco, I mean, I guess we do got to give them a little bit there. I mean, Brock Purdy, is he going to come back as the San Francisco 49ers quarterback this year? I don't think so, but he's definitely going to be the backup. I mean, what's his name's gone? Garoppolo? I mean, he's in Las Vegas.
He went to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, I guess what I always knew that we always kind of had San Francisco's number more in the rivalry than most might have predicted. And you and I compared stats last year on that. But anyway, yeah. So Frisco's kind of on the kind of the downslide. They don't really know their roster. They don't know their identity. I think the Rams, their credit card ran out, like we said.
Oh, it made the bill collectors came knocking, dude.
Yeah. And it was a good, legitimate analogy that we had with the Rams just spending a credit card, because sooner or later you got to stop and you got to start paying back those bills. In other words, they got to go back through the draft, and it's going to take them a while. We've seemed to have a good balance of drafting and getting some guys in, some veterans, and paying them and stuff. But sooner or later that runs out as well. We learned that with Russell Wilson. So it is what it is. Now we're on not necessarily a rebuild or a retool. It's like a new era at this point.
It's a dawning of a brand new age.
Like, motherfucker, I mean, come on. Like, after last year and that successful draft that we had, and then now we got 10 picks, 2 in each of the first and second round.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
And
are you
kidding me, Rich?
Oh,
I don't know, dude.
we're showing that we're capable, and we're showing that we are building in the right way through the draft. with youth. And with that said, like I said, I put a spreadsheet together this morning. I briefly shared it with you, and we're going to discuss the youth and some of these top 30. That's what this is about today, is discussing the top 30, which is, I think it's an NFL ranking where you can get, or the teams can, within the groups of players that are available, they can request up to 30 of those to visit. We have those. I think there was about 27 of them. And then we have an additional about 8 or 9 that were considered pre-draft visits. And the pre-draft visits are the ones that we might be more focused on, that are more in the top 15 or top radar. And we want to get our chance to get a little bit more exclusive and closer to them. So the pre-draft visits are a little bit more of a closer visit. The other ones are more of a let's touch base with you, so we have a better understanding of you if we consider you, mostly later rounds. I usually is what I'm understanding on top 30. So.
Well, let's jump right on in here, man. I mean, like I was simply impressed today, Rich, when you hit me up. You're like, dude, check out this spreadsheet, Seahawks top 30 and pre-draft visits, dude. Like, I'm all in for this episode, dude. So let's I don't know how you want to start this, but we can start from the top. Where do you feel like where we should go right now?
I think we should start with the draft and the way the draft might run. So we can start with our speculation on maybe what's going to happen on pick 5.
Let me go ahead and bring this up here. So NFL
you'll get the draft order up.
2023,
and then,
baby.
The most of the predictions I've been hearing is there'll probably be up to 4 quarterbacks going in the first 5. The lone person or team, excuse me, is I think Cardinals, Arizona. I think they're at number 3.
Number 3, yeah.
And everybody's predicting that, they got goofball down there. I call him Speedy Gonzalez the way he runs, but now he's just a goofball. He doesn't know what he wants. That Kyler Murray or whatever. Is that right?
I think Kyler Murray.
We're rusty.
Yeah, Kyler Murray.
We're rusty. We're really
it's been
rusty.
A minute. Hey man, we've been living the high life for the past 4 months, dude. So
right, the cold life.
The cold life, right?
But anyway, so they're messy down there. He doesn't know what he wants. He got a contract and then he turned into a little bitch. That's all I know. That's the only thing I know the way it looks like.
Hey, that's the way it looks like on my side as well, dude. I think he's turned into a little bitch also. Okay.
Yeah, he got paid.
A little bit of a crybaby.
We've seen it before. So with that said, I don't think they're going to go after a quarterback unless they're going to be like, oh, we're going to dump this guy. Maybe we will go quarterback. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows what a team is thinking.
Right.
But the speculation, first 2 picks should be quarterbers. Arizona, probably defender. Maybe
it's Carolina, Houston, right? I mean, that's big news. I don't know if we talked about. Did that happen before the wild card? I think it happened around the same time frame as the playoffs started. There.
No, it was. Carolina I think it was traded. After. Yeah, when they traded up. It was. I think it was postseason. Again, we're rusty and we're not professionals. We're professional fans.
I've been in and out. I've been watching a lot of NHL. Let's be honest, dude. The Kraken are in the playoffs. We're down 2-1. Oh my gosh. It's the end of the world.
Seattle sports are relevant a lot more than they ever have in a while. So now all we need is the NBA team. But yeah, we can go on and about that. But yeah, I mean, we got so much stuff.
So yeah, like you said, 2 quarterbacks are probably going to go 1, 2. Houston, Carolina. Then you have Arizona at number 3. You have Indianapolis at number 4 coming in, which again they could be definitely in the market for a quarterback.
Well, and when you're that high in the draft, if it's a good quarterback draft class, you don't get those picks all the time. Again, nobody in their right mind, no team in their right mind is going to play to get to the top pick. Maybe in different sports, I've heard that they do that, but you rarely get to the top 5. We got to the top 5, not because we suck or we've been losing. We've been on a winning ever since John and Pete. So we got to the top 5 because of Russell Wilson. So why would we capture that?
Thanks,
exactly.
Russ.
So other teams, when they're up in that area, I would think that if they have a big need for their franchise quarterback and it's a good quarterback class, that they're going to probably pull the trigger, just as people are speculating that we might.
Yeah. So you think we could definitely drop back in the draft?
I guess it just depends on who we might feel that we are looking at, if it's a quarterback or a defender, and who's available when it's our time.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident that we will go for 5, but if it looks like the flow is going a little bit different than they might have thought, then I think that we could move back maybe only a couple of spots. I don't think it'll be very far.
I heard. I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm saying if you can move back just a couple of spots, but still stay in that top 10, you might be able to pick up another pick. I mean, definitely you're going to pick up another pick no matter what when you trade.
Right.
So goes from 10 to 11 picks, and maybe they still get their guy two picks back. It's about the flow and how they feel. And when they're talking during the draft, of course, I've been watching or listening to John Snyder's show every Thursday for the last 8 weeks. He's been on 710 Seattle Sports, and he has an arrangement at 4 o'clock every Thursday, and he'll have it again Thursday of the draft, from what I understand. And he's been keeping us updated on what his train of thought is to an extent. And he was just talking about what their mindset is like and how they look at this. And it's all about, they have like so many different scenarios. He said, the way they put it, they have first scenario, this is our ideal scenario. And then they go from plan B, plan C, all the way down the board. He said they go through all the different coaches and everybody's scouts and all that. And then I think he said Tuesday of this week or so, maybe even tomorrow, Monday of the draft week, he said they go to Jody, the owner, and they present the scenarios. Ooh. And John Snyder was saying it was funny, the look on Jody's face sometimes when he says, we may go this direction, and she'll look at him like cross-eyed or something like, well, how can that, he says we have to consider all these different scenarios, and we got to be ready to act.
You got to be able to act in the moment, which is like what I was going to say, is that there's been a lot of like rumors on, like I heard something where they were talking about, they're like, the draft's not going to go the way people are predicting that it's going to go, which is like kind of like everybody's predicting, quarterback,
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe they're definitely going to draft quarterbacks within that time frame, but still, they were saying it could go many different ways, depending on
definitely could.
What the
there's always going to be surprises.
Yeah, dude.
Always.
So, definitely so. But yeah, no, dude. I think though, like I agree with you. I think that the Seahawks are going to draft with the top 5 pick. I think that they're definitely going to use it. But I guess the question is now, who are they going to use it on? Because, when we talk about drafting a quarterback, it seems like within the spreadsheet that we have here, the only quarterback that is listed is Anthony Richardson out of Florida. Now, I don't know. I haven't paid too much attention to this guy, but it seems like this guy had some issues. Was this the guy that had some issues, or was it a different guy that was had like those major off-field issues?
Yeah, the other guy, you're right on par. The speculation is that we're looking at Anthony Richardson as the quarterback of our choice. And no, he's not the one that has the off-field issues. It was Jalen Carter. He's at line number 10 there that we have. He's a defensive tackle that a lot of people consider the best talent in the draft overall. He was the one that had there was an accident where there was some racing involved. And I believe, I don't know if he was a driver. I don't know the details, and I would never want to go there. But he was in the racing situation, and I believe somebody passed away, one of his teammates. And from what I understand, he was accountable. He returned to the scene. There was a lot of, the media can twist things around, but at the end of the day, we have a good platform. We have a good program in the Seattle Seahawks. So if John and Pete,
right.
What do we always say, Kevin?
In John and Pete, we trust, Rich.
That's right, buddy. So in John and Pete, we trust. If they bring in Jalen Carter, if he's there at number 5, then I will go with that. Other than that, I think Will Anderson, the next guy down there that's green on number 19, he would be speculated probably that the Cardinals would be taking him, because he is the other one that's considered maybe without any baggage, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Will Anderson Jr. is the one that's looking like the first defensive edge being taken, or defensive line. So with Anthony Richardson, he's definitely a prospect, but we're also looking at Hendon Hooker, which is a little bit older. He's not on our list, but Hendon Hooker will fall possibly into the late first, maybe even into the second. So if we trade back and we see a lot in him, he's definitely a good game manager and everything else. So I think, Kevin, it's gonna be quarterback or defensive, depending on who's there at the moment and who we really have our eyes on.
So you tell me this. What do you think we need more? Do you think we need the defensive edge or the defensive, the defensive tackle, or do we need the quarterback? I mean, we just signed Geno Smith to, a relatively short contract. It kind of paid him off for, the season that he had last year, despite its ups and downs. So hopefully we'll see more of the same that we saw last year in terms of the quarterback play. But obviously we do need to look towards the future. But at the same time, we do need to get get better in certain areas on the defense. So like, what do you think our natural pick should be in this situation?
I don't know how set they are on an Anthony Richardson or even any of those top 5 quarterbacks if they were to fall at 5. I do know how set we are in getting that defense back together.
Right. And
We
that makes
got
more
it.
sense to me
Look at
too.
we were the worst at rushing the quarterback last year.
Yeah,
You and
we
I talked
were.
about it all the time. We never had the pressure on the quarterback.
Yep.
We made the playoffs
It was
as
a
a wild
problem
card.
all it's been a problem for a
All
long
yeah,
time, dude. It's been a problem for a good couple of years.
it has. And Daryl Taylor is good. He's decent. We got Uchenna Nuoso now. That guy is a beast. He's a good team leader. We got him from San Diego last year. Remember, that guy came through. He's going to be good. Daryl Taylor needs to excel, but we need some dogs. Jalen Carter, from what I understand,
Dogs.
we need
If
some
we could steal
dogs.
from Pat McAfee for a second, some
If Jalen
dogs.
Carter has his, if Jalen Carter's there and Coach and John and he wants to get into our system, we get him straight. He'd be a dog. If Will Anderson is there, if the Cardinals or any of those other teams pass on a guy like
Yeah.
Will Anderson, and then there's other few guys in there that we don't necessarily have here. This is more or less what was on speculation from media of who visited and who was pre-draft and not necessarily who we go after. I mean, I guess a list like this, recent names that we could remember was Boye Mafe, Frank Clark,
Right.
and maybe Bruce Irvin or whatever, that where they had this type of a visit and ended up on the team. But we're there for a while. So this is just a start. This is just speculation.
I'm taking a look at Will Anderson
with.
right here, dude. And his 2022 stats, dude. I mean, he had 51 tackles, 10 sacks, 17 tackles for loss, dude. So yeah, him and Jalen Carter, whether or not it's him or the other, man. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, can't go wrong with either one. It seems like.
Right. And they're all about 22, 23 years old. They're going to be the future of our defensive line. I think it's going to be an edge rusher or a stout tackle that does, a little bit of both. Somebody that's going to solidify our defensive line and to start stopping that run. But more or less, I think it's going to be somebody to start getting after the quarterback first. I think it's going to be a quarterback on our end if it's that guy that they want to look at to, even though we, like you said, we signed Gino and we signed Drew as the backup. And I think that was smart because they're both very familiar with the system. What if that quarterback's not there at 5? What if the rest of them are considered as not for us? Then we're going to move in a different direction and we're going to go defense in this. And you know what? We'll be set for the next couple of years because we got Gino, who is proven, and Gino took a humble knowing that we might bring somebody in deal. Coach and John both said that they told Drew and both Gino that, hey, everybody knows that we might bring in a quarterback to learn from you guys. And they were both told that transparency right up front, and they're both cool with it. But they both know the system. And, remember, Drew Lock's only 26 now, I think, or something. So let's just say that Gino moves on, or Gino gets a little older or gets tired and made enough money from us because he finally had his chance. Drew Lock, give him a chance. Look, everybody's Gino's not going to do this. Drew Lock's not going to do this. Well, look, we know everybody said this and this and that about Gino, and look at the year he had. Who's to say that Drew Lock couldn't have the same type of a situation sometime when it's his time? So we're set if need be, but we're also set to bring in a guy to sit and learn for a year or two. We're not looking for a guy to start. We're not looking for one of those CJ Stroud, what is it? Young, the kid from, I was going to say Byron, but I'm looking at this sheet right here. I don't think it's Byron. I think it's something close to that. So the guy from Alabama, the quarterback, and Will Levis, and then Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker, those types. Some of those guys are plug and play. They're ready to go. And teams like Indianapolis, Carolina moved up to the top. We all know why, right? They're going to get a quarterback. So are they going to take Bryce Young? I'm sorry, Bryce Young. It just
our apologies.
Or no, seriously, because that's disrespectful. Bryce Young or CJ Stroud is going to go to the Carolina Panthers. I'm pretty confident of that.
Yeah,
those are the top 2. Yeah. And then from there, every other team is going to adjust their draft board, I think.
Well, and you said that, I'm sorry if I caught that wrong. Will Anderson was projected to go to the Arizona Cardinals?
Yes, because they're more than likely going to go for a top defender since they're already set at quarterback with their franchise.
And their defensive tackle, are they pretty decent on that end. I mean, I don't know. Arizona seemed like a shit show last year, so I imagine a lot of stuff's up in play down there.
I don't know what JJ Watt's probably an edge, but he's still down there, I believe, or
I
did he
thought he
retire?
retired.
Again,
I thought he
we're
retired.
rusty. He
It's
might
all
have.
good. Yeah.
I think we're
I think he
rusty.
bought a bar down there in Arizona.
So
He's going to open it up, start having
there you
Sunday
go.
specials.
That sounds familiar. Other than that,
Mhm.
I don't have any clue about
Okay.
what they're doing on that. I don't look
We'll
that
we'll,
depth,
we'll
but I
find
just
out
know
in
that
3
they're
days,
shook.
dude.
I know
We'll
the
find out in 3 days.
49ers are shook a little.
Yeah.
Hey, we need to get into that NFC West. We're going to start that conversation whether we're talking pre-draft or not. The NFC West is always our path. That's our ultimate path.
Yep.
So NFC West it is. We got to get that NFC West and the NFC if we can, and then we're going to go to the Super Bowl.
Go
We
to
can
the
get
Super
both.
Bowl, dude. Hey,
That's
man, this year's our 10-year
bye
anniversary.
week and all that. Yeah.
It's been 10 years this year, dude, since we won the Super Bowl. So, hopefully that's gives us some sort of motivation. I don't know. Plus we get the classic uniforms. Let's not forget about those later this season, dude. They're gonna finally introduce classic uniforms for one of the home games, dude. So that's gonna be awesome.
Well, and we can't forget the alternate helmets. Those are going to come our way. I don't know if that's been announced for us quite yet this year. I know that other teams are starting the alternate helmets.
When you say alternate helmets, what do you mean? What do you mean?
You're allowed alternate color helmets coming up now too.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Hey, so NFL. I mean, look at the NBA, dude. Look what the NBA does. I swear, none of those guys ever wear their normal colors, dude. It's always some alternative color. They have like 20 a year or something. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, they're starting to loosen up. I mean, they started with the numbers too. Remember, they started getting the single digit numbers and stuff to defenders, and they never did that till 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
So you got guys using number 1 or something. They're a safety, or number 4. Quandary Diggs is 8, I think, and 6 is Kobe. I get those two guys every time I see a 6 and an 8. It might be my stigmatism. That's why I got these fucking glasses, right? But I'm like, oh, it was Quandary Diggs. You're like, no, that was Kobe Bryant. I'm like, fuck.
I just get them mixed up, man. The numbers, they look so close.
6 and 8 look pretty close when you got a TV and eyes like mine. But
get a magnifying glass.
Yeah. It's all, but hey, by the way, it looks good. Here we are talking about our little upgrade, doing video. It's nice to see you got the little green screen thing going on with the Seahawk background.
Yeah, dude.
It's
100%.
It's pretty cool. It's different. So I'll see if I could. I'm just sitting in a dark room right now.
I mean, obviously, we're not going to have too many episodes coming out here in the near future. We have the pre-draft special this episode, and then next week we'll be back with a full draft review. And then after that, we're probably not going to see you till July. So right around preseason, training camp opens up just like last year.
Yep. We got to get started somewhere, brother. And I think it's good, but I'm excited. I'll see if I can get a little green screen background and we can get all fancy together or whatever on this. And
it's good that people can see our faces now. Yeah. People can see our faces now. Put a face to the voice, so
if they don't like the face, they could always minimize the browser and still get the voice. I mean,
man. I mean, if they got that premium YouTube, dude, you just drop the app down, dude. You don't even have to look at the video.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I'm all good. I'm open-minded on it. I just want to, as we always said when we started this project, we just want to share the passion and love we have for our teams in general in Seattle, but more specifically with Let's Hawk It Out. We're just something we wanted to do. We're always talking about the Seahawks, so we wanted to just go ahead and put it on paper, so to speak, right? Now, see if we can share it with other people and see what they feel. And if not, we'll probably just keep blabbing our mouths anyway, but whatever. Now you can see our face too, and you can just minimize.
Just minimize instantly. We're lucky. We're lucky if you got past 30 seconds.
Yeah. That's all I got, brother.
Well, all right, man. I'm like I said, dude, I'm really excited going into the draft this week. Obviously, with this being the pre-draft, where we go this season, it's really, we that's one cool thing that is coming up here soon, I believe, is the releasing of the regular season schedule. So we're going to know, because we already know the teams that we're going to play, but we're going to know the order, who's playing at home, what games we're playing at home, what games we're playing on the road. So it is really starting to get into that real exciting time where, the teams are going to start forming. Obviously, it's a brand new league year. We're putting together the team 2023, 2024. I'm excited, dude. Like you said, the NFC West is the path. I really feel that, hopefully with the retooling that we're doing this offseason, we're just going to keep improving on what we need to. And we're going to be able to come out, again, and hopefully, I mean, just have a good season, like have a real good Seahawks season, dude. Celebrate 10 years since we won the Super Bowl. Let's go win it again this year. I don't know. I mean, that's the hope every year. So I'll say that every season, Rich.
Now that you said that, I'll give one last little synopsis on my end. I think you're going to see a heavy or a more weighted towards defensive draft than you are going to be offensive. We're more set offensive, except for maybe the offensive line. We might see some guards needed. We got our tackles. We need a center. That John Michael Smith, I guess we should have touched base on it, but either way, you're going to see probably more emphasis on the defense. And because we've already got
I think it's
the offense,
what we need.
I think, to a certain extent. Yeah, I think we just need to focus more on Pete Carroll's defense.
It's that run, dude. We gotta defend that run, dude. They ran that Carolina game is still burned into my mind from last year, dude. The amount of yards they got on us that day, dude. I'm traumatized forever, dude.
Well, Coach Carroll's philosophy is always you got to have a great defense before you can have an offense.
Exactly.
And we're good.
There you go. All right. We'll leave it there. Ladies and gentlemen, for Rich Harris, I'm Kevin Porter. We'll see you next week after the draft. Until then, hey, have a good day.
Let's hawk it out. All right.
I gotta ask a question. Can you win a game in the first quarter? No!